Hi everyone. This is what I'm going to be working with. I have a piece of canvas that I cut from the canvas roll that I have. I like to do this because it gives me the opportunity to create any size painting that I want, whatever's going to work for me. And I'm going to be gluing it to this board. It's just a very thin MDF board. You can pretty much use anything. And so I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to measure this out. My piece is about 8.75 inches. So let's say almost 9 inches by 11.5. And what I want to do is create a small border. And I use just regular old masking tape. And I like using masking tape because it comes off easily. And I just measure out like about 1 inch. And the really cool thing about this is that it doesn't have to be perfectly measured out unless you're going to be using a very specific support afterwards. There we go. Okay, so for the next part, I brought the board with the new canvas on it into my studio, and I'm going to apply a few coats of gesso over the top. And the gesso that I have right now is from Cintio. It is not a high quality gesso. It's just something that I found at the local store. And for sketches like this one that I'm going to be doing, it works just fine. But definitely I would not use this on a large painting. What I'm going to do is just take my brush, just a regular old used up brush, and just paint over the top of it. Okay, so I'm gonna just use this jar of water. I just filled up a little bit of water, enough to, dip the brush in and wash it off when it's done. I'm gonna dip right into the gesso. You can see it's very thick. In the first coats, you don't need it to be that thick. That's why I put water on the brush. And you just paint it on. And painting over the masking tape creates a, it kind of seals it from your painting. So when you do take off the paint, the tape, then it is, you get a clear border. And I like to have brush marks in the gesso. I don't like to have it all smooth. When I just put the brush in the water, and I'm gonna let that dry and take this off for you. Sorry for the movement. Let's see if we can get there. You can see some of the brush strokes. Now when it dries, it won't be so prominent. It'll kind of mellow out as it dries. Okay, so I'm back the next day, and you can see my board here. It's all dry. It's got a couple layers of gesso on it. Let me come in close. Maybe you can see some of the texture that's on it. It's just a little bit, just what I like. It holds the paint. When the brush stroke comes across, it, you know, catches the paint and holds it. And I like it very much. So the next step is to put a wash on this canvas so that we can begin designing our painting on it. So I'm going to just put it here on my easel. What I'm going to use as my basic layers, my basic wash is burnt sienna, and I'm using Mussini burnt sienna by Schminke. It's a German company, and it's my go-to color for washes. Now, the reason why we want to put a wash on the canvas is to take away the white. It can be difficult, especially when you're new, to judge colors. And it always helps if there's a neutral background. If you have white, it's too bright and your eye can't adjust to putting the right colors down. You start putting a color in and you think, oh my God, that's to this or to that, and you change it, and then in the end it all gets confusing. But if you have a wash on it, it just mellows everything out, and it puts the canvas in a medium tone range, which is easier for the eye to mix colors and to see how each color relates to the other that you have laid down before. So I'm going to put down a little bit of this burnt sienna. You don't need very much, just a pinch. And I'm using this medium, which is 3 parts turpentine and 1 part linseed oil. And I use this in the very beginning stages of my painting. That's why I have the number 1 written on it. These are the first levels. I have a number 2 and number 3. I'll do another video on that, on how to make that and why we want to use that. So that's what I'm using today. I'm just dip my brush in. And we only need a little bit. Okay. After we do this part, what you want to do is let it sit for a minute, and then you're going to take a paper towel or a rag, and you're going to wipe it down to get some of the color off and just have a stain. So you can see it easily comes off. Just rub it down. There. Now, what I like about this shade is that it is neutral. I don't have different concentrations of the burnt sienna. Some lighter, some darker, and you know, it's bland, and I want it to be bland because this is where I'm going to construct the very beginning of my next painting. So I like to let it sit for a few hours or until tomorrow, and then we'll start on the very beginning of the painting, how to construct the painting. Take care. Be sure to click the subscribe button below and leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to talk to you, happy to answer your questions as best I can. Have a great, great, great day.